Hey everybody, Travis Bowman here. I'm a retro video game nerd and fingerstyle guitar player, and I was approached by CoolGadget to take a look at this brand new precision electric screwdriver set. Now, truth be told, I'm not the best when it comes to modifying video game consoles and repairs, but I still like to try to do it. So I figured this electric screwdriver set would actually be pretty handy for somebody like me who's just dabbling in video game repair. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's in this screwdriver set right here. Well, first of all, you've got a 400 RPM motor with switchable manual electric modes, an assembly solution with 48 S2 steel bits, an all-metal gearbox, pry bar, and tweezers are included, and it's got this really nice pop-up magnetic case for easy storage. So this configuration is kind of like a pen in a way, and it's actually laid out pretty nice. You've got some easy-to-access buttons, and you've got this little LCD panel right there to tell you what's going on as you're using the screwdriver. And it's also got a light built in, which is really cool for when you're trying to get up into some cracks and crevices to get some screws out. So right off the bat, before we even use this thing, I can tell that a lot of thought was put into it, and it's not just a cheap set. You know, this is actually quality right here. And I really like the configuration of all these different bits and stuff like that. And you can even use it as like a mini drill if you so desire. They've actually got some bits in there where you can use it as a drill instead of a screwdriver. All of the expected bits are going to be here, different sizes of Phillips head screwdrivers as well as your flathead, and we've got some other ones like some star bits and stuff like that. After using it for a little bit, I'm really impressed with how precise this actually is. It's pretty easy to use too. You got this little black thing right there on the end of the screwdriver, and you unscrew it, stick your bit in there, and then tighten it back up so it doesn't fall out, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so I actually had a couple of projects that I was going to do anyway. So the very first thing on the list is a Vectrex controller. I actually picked up this Vectrex and I'm going to do a video on it very soon. But one thing that I noticed about the controller is that one of the buttons doesn't really want to work right now. So I'm going to open it up and check it out. Now, so far, this screwdriver did a decent job, but those screws were really in there, man. I had to kind of give it an extra physical turn before I was able to turn on that motor and pull that screw out of there. But, you know, these screws have been inside this controller probably since 1982. And it took a little bit of oomph to get them out, but putting them back in was incredibly easy. No issues with that whatsoever. And I cleaned the controller, cleaned all the dust and grime out of it, and you know, cleaned the buttons and cleaned everything with some isopropyl alcohol, and now it's working great, so that's good. Okay, so next on the list, I've got an original Game Boy that I would like to do a screen mod on, and this is where we're gonna run into a wall. This screwdriver set does not have some very video game specific bits inside of them, such as the tri-wing screw or the game bit. Obviously what I'm doing is a very specific thing. You know, this is retro video game stuff that's not on the market anymore, and I don't think there's any video game anything modern that has these type of screws, so of course that's to be expected that they wouldn't include this in the screwdriver set. But as a retro gaming enthusiast, I think if they had included both of these, that would just be amazing for somebody like me, a guy that's trying to do some repairs and you know, maintenance on his consoles and work on some modern solutions for those consoles as well. But unfortunately, I was not able to get inside of the Game Boy because I didn't have that tri-wing screwdriver to get in there. I don't own one either, so that was a shame, but that's to be expected, like I said. Okay, so moving on, now this is where this screwdriver set's really going to shine. This is a PlayStation Portable. I was actually given this for free at a retro gaming convention here locally. One of the buttons does not work, and sure enough, after I turn this on, you can see the screen is kind of messed up a little bit, and unfortunately, it's probably going to need a new screen, but I at least want to get in there and see what's going on, clean everything up a little bit, and see if I can get those buttons working. Now, this screwdriver set has a lot of teeny tiny bits in there, which is really appreciated. You know, most of these screwdriver sets will just have your standard sized Phillips head screwdriver, but we've got some really tiny ones in here, and that is going to be perfect for something like this where you have a bunch of Phillips screws in a PlayStation Portable like this. And sure enough, I had no problems getting into this console with the screwdriver set. It was actually really simple and easy, and putting the screws back in was just as easy. Now on this screwdriver set, you've got an area to where you can magnetize your bits and demagnetize them if you need to. That was a really nice feature. Really surprised to see that, actually. Okay, moving on, I've got a Dreamcast VMU. This is a memory card for the Sega Dreamcast, one of my favorite consoles of all time. These little memory cards are actually like little mini Game Boys, you know. It's a really cool design, but they've got some batteries in there, some CR2032s that just drain like a tub. So I figured I'd give it a try and see if I can get it open and maybe replace the battery in this guy right here, and sure enough, that screwdriver had no issues with that. And finally, we're going to take a look at a 6-button original Sega Genesis controller, one of the best controllers of all time in my opinion. And this one's just a little filthy, so I figured I'd open it up and give it a cleaning so I can continue to appreciate it and use it for the next 30 years. I had no problems getting the screws out of this controller either, and I think that's going to be my main point for this video, is that unfortunately this screwdriver set isn't really designed for people like me, you know, retro gaming enthusiasts who really only like to do projects like this for retro gaming. But I can see myself using this screwdriver for a lot of practical things, as far as, like, you know, I have got pickup systems in my guitars and they have screws and stuff like that. So is this the perfect screwdriver set for retro gaming? Probably not. But it's still a great screwdriver set. Big thanks to the CoolGadget team for thinking of me and reaching out to me and asking me if I wanted to take a look at this. I really do appreciate that. And like I said, it's a cool screwdriver set, and I've had no issues with the battery life or anything like that. I like the design of it, and I liked how compact it is. And this is a durable set as well. I don't think dropping this is going to do any damage to it at all. You know, I think it's designed to be, you know, thrown in a bag and taken with you pretty much wherever you want to go, and I don't see any issues with it, you know, malfunctioning or anything like that. To be clear, this is a quality screwdriver set. It's not just a cheap, crappy little set, you know. They put time and effort into this for sure. But I'll be sure to put a link in the description to where you can find this XCool mini electric screwdriver set if you're interested in grabbing one for yourself. You can check out the CoolGadget team at CoolGadget.com. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of other cool stuff on the market soon, and I'm kind of excited to see what else they're going to come up with. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll catch you guys at the next video. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.